Tense May morning, a federal courtroom in New York transformed into the epicenter of global attention as actor Jamie Foxx took the stand to testify in a case involving Sean Diddy Combs, once considered a close friend. Foxx's testimony is believed to hold the potential to shed light on serious allegations swirling around Hollywood's entertainment industry, where questions of power dynamics and financial influence have come under scrutiny in this investigation.
Well, I hang with P. Diddy, a lot, man. Sean, Puppy Combs. We hang out, man. We party, and I call him Black Gatsby, man.
Jamie Foxx laughing off his party days with Diddy, poking fun in his Netflix comedy special, Jamie Foxx What Had Happened Was, which is streaming now. The actor and comedian breaking his silence about his road to recovery after his near-fatal stroke last year spawned conspiracy theories on social media.
A 20-year friendship shattered in an instant. What did Jamie Foxx reveal that left Diddy reeling, unable to recover? Hollywood has never witnessed a betrayal quite this staggering. Once upon a time, Jamie Foxx and Sean Diddy Combs were an inseparable duo at exclusive gatherings reserved for the true elite nights. Filled with glittering promises of transformation over clinking glasses where secrets were traded for silence and fame was built at the cost of one's soul. Yet in the stark federal courtroom stripped of stage lights, music, or laughter, Jamie took the witness stand in a cold gray suit carrying the one thing Diddy feared most: the truth.
He poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
No longer the dazzling Jamie Foxx of glamorous roles, no longer the trusted brother, today he stands as the one tearing down every illusion, and his testimony carries enough weight to ensure Diddy may never see the light of freedom again. What did Jamie witness during those lavish nights of revelry? What drove him to turn against the big brother who once guided him to the pinnacle of fame? And most crucially, is Jamie the critical linchpin in a plot to dismantle the sinful empire Diddy has built over 2 decades? This isn't a movie, this is reality, and you're about to hear revelations never before disclosed, secrets Hollywood has spent millions to bury for the past 20 years.
But staying silent would make me complicit. For 2 decades, I turned a blind eye, deaf ear, and feigned ignorance because I too.
At this point, Jamie Foxx paused, drawing a deep breath, his gaze sweeping across the courtroom before locking onto Diddy. Even now, Diddy stared back, his narrowed eyes blazing with a fierce intensity, as if trying to intimidate Jamie. Despite the witness stand between them, the charges, human trafficking, extortion, and violence, had already gripped the world's attention, but no one could have predicted that Jamie Foxx, once Diddy's close friend, ally, and brother, during their glory days, would be among those two. Take the stand. As Jamie entered the courtroom, fell into a hushed stillness. His hands trembled, his eyes were rimmed with red, yet his voice rang with unwavering resolve.
I'm here to unmask the devil hiding in plain sight. I've seen what Diddy has done, not just to me, but to Cassie and countless others.
That statement landed like a stone cast into a still lake, sending ripples of shock through Hollywood. Jamie Foxx, once a radiant figure alongside Diddy at extravagant galas, now stood to denounce the man he once called a friend. What drove him to turn his back? What compelled a star like Jamie, with a storied career, to risk everything for the sake of truth?
You see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. Eyes are working just fine. And then, some people were talking about I'm clone. Well, check this out. Just kidding. Not clone, man.
To understand, we must rewind to 2000 for the moment Jamie stepped into Diddy's whirlwind and began to see that the parties millions dreamed of attending were, in reality, a gateway to hell.
I started hanging out with Sean Combs in 2004, invited to rub shoulders with a music icon, thinking it was the chance to transform my life. But I was wrong. What I saw and went through, it was a nightmare. Sean Combs isn't human.
In 2004, Jamie Foxx stood at the pinnacle of fame. His electrifying performance in Ray didn't just cement him as a Hollywood star, it made him a symbol of raw talent and relentless ambition. Yet beneath the shimmering spotlight, Jamie found himself ensnared in the shadowy vortex of Sean Diddy Combs' world, a realm of lavish parties, unchecked power, and sinister crimes cloaked in glitz and glamour.
Like, for what? I mean, what are you saying? He said, it costs $1.5 million to throw this party. I said, Puff, oh my God, I love it. The party's amazing. Yes, the mayor is here and everything. I said, but that's too much money. I said, you come to my place in LA, I'll throw you a party for $400 that will rival this party. And he got a little mad because, you know, he was like, yo, no, I'm known for this shit.
Today, in this historic courtroom, Jamie Foxx steps forward, carrying the weight of emotional scars and armed with razor-sharp evidence to unmask the true face of Diddy, not merely a music mogul, but a predator in human guise. A figure who has shattered countless lives, including his own. Jamie Foxx was an indispensable guest at Diddy's infamous White Party and Freak-Off extravaganzas, events that pulsed with decadence and danger.
It was a place where music thrummed with life, where multi-million-dollar deals were sealed, and where you could rub shoulders with the most influential titans.
Jamie's voice trembled as he testified in court, his memories raw and vivid. Being invited by Diddy was the ultimate dream for anyone, a golden ticket to Hollywood's elite inner circle. Back then, Jamie felt a surge of pride, as if he had scaled the very summit of his career. But within just 6 months, that dream twisted into a harrowing nightmare at one of Diddy's notorious freak-off parties held on the second floor of his sprawling mansion. Jamie and Cassie Ventura, Diddy's girlfriend at the time, were ushered into a clandestine room. 629, 646. The glittering lights and the polished laughter of the elite in their place loomed a grim darkness. Violence, drugs, young women coerced into submission, and pills that stripped away any grip on reality. I saw Cassie being brutally beaten by Diddy. Jamie choked out, his voice thick with emotion.
He forced her to be with others, even me. I refused, but Cassie's eyes, they were pleading, begging me to save her. I'll never forget that.
I'll never forget that look. A wave of revulsion surged through Jamie. He tried to blend in, but each party plunged him deeper into the depravity of the entertainment world. The breaking point came when he saw Diddy repeatedly assault Cassie, wielding violence as a tool to enforce his dominance. Unable to stomach it any longer, Jamie confronted Diddy, his voice firm and resolute. I'm done with this. This isn't my world. Diddy, with a chilling smirk, shot back. You think you can just walk away like that? You'll pay for it. Jamie brushed off the threat, dismissing it as empty bravado. He couldn't have been more wrong. By late 2000, for a shadow descended on Jamie Foxx's life when Esther Marie Thowley, his grandmother, the woman who raised him from childhood, who instilled in him the courage to chase his dreams and the strength to face any challenge, passed away suddenly in the New York courtroom. As he spoke of her, Jamie's voice cracked, his eyes brimming with tears. She was everything to me. She was my light, the one who shaped who I am. In the depths of his grief, Jamie turned to Diddy, someone he once considered a friend, seeking solace. But during a drunken encounter, Diddy let out a cruel laugh and callously confessed, "You think your grandma died of natural causes? You thought you could just walk away from me that easily?" In that moment, Jamie froze, his world collapsing. Rage consumed him as he lunged at Diddy, landing a fierce blow to his face, screaming, "My grandmother was innocent. Why would you do this?" Diddy only sneered in response.
"You're a fool, Jamie. Anyone who crosses me pays a price."
Those words seared into Jamie's mind, revealing Diddy not just as a powerful figure, but as the embodiment of malice, willing to crush anyone who dared defy him. This moment became a turning point in Jamie's life. He realized he could no longer turn a blind eye to Diddy's atrocities. Alongside Cassie, who endured relentless torment from Diddy, Jamie embarked on a perilous mission, gathering evidence in secret, every scrap of documentation, every recorded conversation, every haunting memory of those grotesque freak-off parties became a weapon in their arsenal. Jamie understood the dangers of this path. Diddy would stop at nothing to eliminate threats to his empire, yet fueled by the grief of losing his grandmother, outrage at such evil, and compassion for victims like Cassie, Jamie transformed from a wounded man into a quiet warrior ready to risk everything to reclaim justice. We thought it would be the fatal blow. By 2016, Jamie and Cassie resolved to take action. They knew confronting Diddy was akin to stepping into a hopelessly uneven battle, that he wasn't just a powerful individual, but was backed by an invisible yet formidable network within the entertainment industry. Still, their faith in justice and the searing pain of what they had witnessed drove them to deliver a decisive strike. Together, they released a damning video, a razor-sharp piece of evidence, capturing Diddy brutally assaulting Cassie in the corridor of a lavish hotel. The footage, showing Diddy's face contorted with rage, as he mercilessly attacked Cassie, was a piercing blow to the polished facade he had so carefully crafted, Jamie testified in court, his voice quivering with the weight of those agonizing memories.
We believed that video would rip away his mask, showing the world that Diddy wasn't some music mogul, but a brutal abuser, a true monster.
But they had underestimated Diddy's power, or rather the might of the empire propping him up. Within a mere 30 minutes of the video's release, it vanished from the internet, erased, as if it had never existed. Social media platforms, which should have been a beacon for justice, became unwilling accomplices to Diddy's cause. Posts were deleted, accounts sharing the video were locked, and voices of support were silenced. In a chilling hush, the lawsuit Cassie bravely filed, hoping it would ignite a blaze of justice, was snuffed out with ruthless efficiency. In less than 24 hours, the case was settled out of court, shrouded in vague terms and suffocating financial pressure that left Cassie no choice but to relent. In the courtroom, Jamie bowed his head, his voice sinking into a bitter murmur.
Just up against Diddy, he wasn't acting alone. Behind him loomed a vast web of influence, corrupt officials taking bribes, media outlets twisted to his will, and top-tier lawyers eager to warp the truth. We were just two ordinary people facing an immense, unstoppable machine.
Despite crushing setbacks, Jamie and Cassie pressed on undeterred. Over the next 7 years, they tirelessly amassed evidence, records of human trafficking, drug and weapons smuggling, bribes funneled to officials to conceal crimes, fraudulent charities, and schedules detailing money laundering through shell companies. They operated in the shadows, fully aware that each move teetered on the edge of life and death. In the courtroom, as Jamie recounted this journey, his voice carried not just fury, but an unshakable conviction. "We knew Diddy could buy the world," he declared, his gaze sweeping across the jury. "But we believed that the truth, however fragile, held a power of its own."
Every document, every recording, every agonizing memory we brought here is to ensure no one else has to endure what we did. Diddy may be powerful, but he's not untouchable, and I'm here to prove it.
In 2023, after nearly 2 decades cloaked in the shadows of fear and fury, Jamie Foxx and Cassie Ventura resolved to launch their final counterstrike against Sean Diddy Combs. They'd spent years painstakingly amassing evidence, every scrap of documentation, every covert recording, every searing memory of Diddy's atrocities, from brutal assaults to human trafficking and money laundering through sham charities. In Jamie's heart, the flame of justice blazed fiercer than ever. "We knew Diddy wasn't someone to underestimate," Jamie testified in court, his gaze steely, yet brimming with resolve. "He had wealth, influence, and an entire network shielding him, but we believed that the truth, however fragile, had the power to bring him down with the caution of those walking a tightrope between life and death." Jamie and Cassie prepared to unveil everything, a trove of evidence potent enough to expose not just Diddy, but the sprawling criminal empire he commanded. What they didn't anticipate, however, was that Diddy had long been aware of their plans. Like a seasoned predator, he had silently tracked their every move, letting them believe they held the upper hand. In the shadows, Diddy smirked, viewing their efforts as a tragic comedy with an ending he had already scripted. He allowed them to grow confident, to dare to dream of justice, only to unleash a merciless ambush at the final moment, shattering their every hope.
I thought I was meticulous. I encrypted every file, backed up all my evidence to the cloud, and used cutting-edge surveillance gear. I was convinced I was one step ahead of him, but I was wrong. He knew everything.
Diddy and his goons showed up at Jamie's house the night before the planned meeting to complete their plan to reveal the proof. They were dressed as partners, eager to talk about a new music project, and Jamie, who had learned to question everything Diddy did, was ready. As the door swung open, a high-tech gadget, a tiny hidden camera sewed into a button, was inserted into his shirt. It could record in great detail and instantaneously upload it to the cloud. The camera began recording every second, but before Jamie might respond, while one of Diddy's guys viciously struck him in the back of the neck with a baton, another quickly threw a black sack over his head. Diddy waited there, his eyes glinting with the cold satisfaction of a predator whose trap had snapped shut. As he approached, each step echoed like the toll of fate itself. "You dared to betray me, Jamie," he growled, his voice dripping. As Jamie collapsed, his consciousness swallowed by darkness, and he was dragged to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, a place devoid of light, reeking of mold, and steeped in the chilling presence of death. You and Cassie thought you could bring me down, he said scornfully. Diddy launched a vicious attack on Jamie, with each hit having enough force to break his will. Jamie, you dare betray me. You and Cassie think you can bring me down? He snarled, his voice brimming with disdain, and produced a tablet, claiming it was Neurotoxic X, a masterwork poison from his covert laboratory that could cause strokes and brain hemorrhages undetected. You'll be its first test subject. When Diddy's henchman shoved the drug into Jamie's lips and his eyes gleamed with wickedness, a concealed camera caught Diddy's sneering words. James, you sleep well. Diddy and his team abandoned him in the warehouse, setting up the scene with a broken whiskey bottle close by, fabricating a story that Jamie had drunkenly caused his own death. By chance, a passing truck driver saw Jamie and called for assistance from hospital doctors as his body collapsed, convulsing as the toxins spiked his blood pressure and ruptured his cerebral vessels. Conducted emergency surgery to alleviate the pressure in his head, saving him from certain death, but Jamie fell into a profound sleep despite heroic efforts. At first, physicians thought the occurrence was a stress-induced stroke, but his weak body was strapped to a hospital bed. The jacket with the concealed camera was abandoned in the warehouse after the attack was written off as a random robbery. Fortunately, the camera's video had been safely saved on the cloud.
Great. Hey, I have a question for you about this whole P. Diddy thing, about the rumors that are just online are just crazy. I wonder if you could just clear it up for the fans and...
God bless you.
How are you feeling though?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better.
Is the poisoning rumors true or not? I know it's kind of crazy, right?
When Diddy found out that Jamie had survived, he sent an assassin to the hospital where he was recuperating and slipped another dose of neurotoxin X into his foreline, making the death appear to be a consequence of his initial stroke. However, Jamie's keen intuition told him that something was strange about a strange nurse hovering nearby in a semi-conscious state, so he pretended to sleep, discreetly disconnected the four just before the poison could start to flow, and pressed the alarm button. The assassin ran away, captured on security footage, but never named Diddy because orders came through a middleman. Once lucid, Jamie pieced together the attack Diddy's voice, the pill, and the suffocating. In that warehouse, he reached out to Cassie, who was hiding from Diddy's relentless pursuit. Cassie gave him damaging proof, including a list of shell businesses connected to Diddy's operations and an audio of Diddy talking about neurotoxin X with a chemist. James disclosed the presence of a concealed camera and hired private investigator Alex Carter, a specialist in toxicology. When Carter located Jamie's jacket in the warehouse, he discovered grainy, cloud-stored video of Diddy talking about neurotoxin X and his strategy to eradicate it. Carter discovered signs of X metabolite in Jamie's hair sample. In order to verify the poisoning, he also tested the hospital syringe for neurotoxic X and looked into warehouse fabric to detect Diddy's unique perfume aroma. That night, Jamie recalled that Diddy had once pitched a phony charity, which he turned down after noticing anomalies in its financial records. A warehouse witness also noticed a black SUV that matched Diddy's speeding away. The spark that led Diddy to target him in order to defend his criminal empire with the assistance of Cassie and Carter. Jamie strengthened the case for trial today by linking the Neurotoxin X lab to a shell corporation controlled by Diddy. Jamie Foxx is armed and proud.